In August 2018, 18-year-old Danielle Marzejka's life seems to be going exactly as she imagined it would. She lives with her family and her boyfriend, Seren Bryan, in a quiet neighborhood and works nights at a diner. Everything seems normal until she and Seren suddenly vanish without a trace. Days pass until finally Danielle's brother Kevin spots suspicious tracks in the garden while looking out the window. What he finds shortly afterward in the family's shed shatters all hope, and the question of who is capable of such a thing leads straight to the family's own home. Clinton Township is located northeast of Detroit in the state of Michigan and has a population of around 100,000. Robert Joseph Marzejka, whom everyone calls Joseph, lives with his 3 children in one of the town's many mobile home parks. His eldest son, Robert, is 24 years old, Kevin is 23, and his daughter Danielle is 18. Jill Marzejka, his wife and the mother of the 3 children, passed away in 2011. Robert, in particular, has suffered greatly from the loss of his mother ever since. Danielle is described by friends and family members as a warm-hearted, helpful young woman. Danielle's boyfriend, Seren Bryan, and Kevin's girlfriend, Ara, also live in the family's trailer. After his wife's death, Joseph became an alcoholic and has struggled to get back on his feet ever since. He works as a painter and often takes his 2 sons to work with him. Seren is a humorous, cheerful young man who often makes the people around him laugh. Danielle and Seren have been a couple for several years. Both work the night shift at National Coney Island, a well-known regional fast food chain. Since they don't own a car, a coworker and friend regularly gives them a ride. On the evening of August 22, 2018, Danielle and Seren begin another night shift. The shift ends around 8 a.m. on August 23rd. After work, a friend drives the couple home as usual. Joseph is also awake that morning. Just as he is leaving for work, he sees his daughter and her boyfriend coming home. It is the last time anyone close to them sees the 2 alive. Another night shift is scheduled for the evening of August 23rd. Around 1 p.m., the friend texts Danielle to say her car has broken down. At 5 p.m., she texts again. This time, she reports that she has arranged an alternative ride. But at 7 p.m., a third message follows, saying that it won't work out after all. Danielle doesn't reply to any of the 3 messages. Danielle is usually always online, posts regularly on social media, and is almost never seen without her cell phone. She also always carries her charger with her. At first, the friend hopes that they might just see each other later at work, but when she shows up for her shift, neither Danielle nor Seren is there. On August 24th, the next day, the worried friend drives to the family's house after her night shift. There, she meets Joseph and Danielle's brother, Robert. Both allow her to look around the house. In the couple's room, she discovers, among other things, Danielle's charger, another sign that something is wrong. Seren, too, has vanished without a trace. Neither of them answers calls or messages. Other friends also try to get in touch, but to no avail. On August 25th, the couple again fails to show up for work. Several friends and family members head to the trailer and search the young couple's room. Among other things, they find Seren's wallet and Danielle's blood glucose meter, which she usually always carries with her because of her diabetes. Everything suggests that Danielle and Seren never left the house. On August 26th, Kevin, Danielle's brother, searches the bedroom again with his girlfriend. Everything seems normal. But then Kevin glances out the window into the garden and notices that the grass has been trampled down in several places. In the garden, he notices an unusually large number of flies buzzing around the small shed. A sense of unease washes over him. He unlocks the shed door and is almost overwhelmed by the smell and the swarm of flies as he steps inside. Inside are lawnmowers and other equipment. Behind them, he discovers two large black plastic bags. Joseph is now in the garden as well. Together, they fetch a utility knife from the house. Kevin carefully cuts open one of the bags and sees a human leg. They immediately call the police. Kevin tells the officer on the phone that his sister and her boyfriend have been missing for several days and that they now suspect their bodies are in the shed. To avoid destroying any evidence, they do not open the bags further. When the investigators arrive on the scene, their worst fears are confirmed. Danielle lies in one of the trash bags and her boyfriend Seren in the other. The bodies are already in an advanced state of decomposition. Seren is wrapped in 5 trash bags, 3 around his head and neck, 1 each around his upper and lower body. His mouth is taped shut and his hands and feet are bound. Danielle is wrapped in 3 bags, 1 around her entire body, 2 around her head and neck. Her mouth and nose are sealed with tape. Both are wearing only underwear. According to the forensic examination, they show severe skull injuries. A rubber mallet is quickly identified as the murder weapon. However, these injuries were not fatal, and the medical examiner soon concludes that the two suffocated. In addition, investigators discover various blood-stained objects in the shed. Among them are a rubber mallet, a pillow, duct tape, and a bedsheet. When police examine the couple's bedroom with luminol, they find extensive bloodstains on the walls and furniture. Investigators quickly turn their suspicion toward Robert Marzejka, Danielle's older brother. Shortly after the bodies were discovered, Robert left the trailer and has since vanished without a trace. 7 years earlier, he had been diagnosed with a combination of schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and paranoia. Since his mother's death in 2011, he claims to have been hearing voices, but refuses to take medication for it. Neighbors report that he had recently become increasingly aggressive. The police publicly identify him as a suspect. Eventually, he is located at a nearby motel. Robert then flees south and takes a bus to Cincinnati, Ohio. He is wearing a blonde wig, sunglasses, and a hat. However, the conspicuous disguise is quickly noticed. Employees of the bus company inform the police, and Robert is eventually arrested in Cincinnati. The investigation reveals that the crime was most likely committed on the morning of August 23rd. Danielle and Seren had come home from their night shift around 8 a.m. that day and gone to sleep. Robert is also at home at this time. It is believed that he waited a few hours and then struck the 2 women unconscious with the rubber mallet while they were asleep, subsequently tying them up and taping their mouths and noses shut. His DNA is found on nearly all pieces of evidence. Robert is eventually charged with double murder. He pleads not guilty. In court, he shows little emotion. A psychiatric evaluation acknowledges his severe mental illness, but concludes that Robert knew what he was doing at the time of the crime. The defense nevertheless attempts to prove that he was not criminally responsible. But even the defense's own experts confirm that Robert was criminally responsible at the time of the crime. As a last resort, the defense now hopes for a conviction of second-degree manslaughter. But the jury takes only 38 minutes to reach a verdict. They unanimously find Robert Marzejka guilty of first-degree murder. He is sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. There appears to have been no real motive for the crime. One can therefore only assume that the crime occurred due to his various medical conditions and the resulting episodes of aggression. But even that does not protect him from punishment. Left behind are Danielle's brother Kevin and her father Joseph, who now have to cope with yet another terrible loss in their family. And with that, we've already reached the end of today's video. Danielle and Seren were killed in their own home while they were sleeping, in the place where they felt safest, and to make matters worse, by a family member. I can hardly imagine how Joseph must be feeling, having lost not only his wife, but also 2 of his children. What do you think about today's case? Feel free to leave a comment below. That also helps support this channel. And if you'd like to support me even more, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Other than that, there isn't much more to say. I wish you a good morning, afternoon, or evening, whichever time you're watching this, and hope to see you again in the next video. Until then, ciao everyone!